even the English was, aka hard struggle
Yes.
English. He did it so well.
I almost cannot believe he's acting. Do you know? Like,
I know.
This is the Two African Girls Review podcast, where we review black and brown film, TV, and more.
hi guys, so welcome back. This is episode 5 review for Country Queen. This is a Kenyan show on Netflix, and we've been reviewing episode by episode. So if you've not listened to the earlier episodes that we did, go wherever you're listening to this and find that. So we have a guest today.
A very special guest.
Yeah, and she's gonna introduce herself. Go
Hi
ahead.
everyone. I'm OPRAH OYUGI. I am one of the writers on Country Queen.
As you can tell, we're so excited to have you on the show, and we're just gonna get into it.
Akisa and Ivy, they're coming into work together. And Ivy suspects that Jay, who is Akisa's assistant, is
Correction,
into
Shady business.
shady business. Yes,
Yukabeth.
that name. It's
That's a good
lovely
name. But it's so funny too. How did Ivy know her full name?
Yeah, how did Ivy know
I
her
think
full
Ivy
name?
is just a digger. One thing we always felt about Ivy is she will know. I don't know if, maybe I might be jumping ahead, but the way she let herself into Akisa's apartment, and Akisa is not really sure if she did it using her spare key
Yeah.
or, like when she needs to know something, she will know. And I mean, she has connections. Her dad is the governor. So, hey, she will get the information when she needs it.
Okay.
Yeah, because we did have a theory.
Yes, we did, because we just did in the episode 4 review.
We did have a theory that probably Ivy stole the key to Akisa's
Yeah, that's a
place.
bit odd.
Because when Akisa asked her, she was not even sure how to answer it.
Yes. Then we found out she has an issue with getting things that are
Yeah.
not hers. When Ivy expresses her concerns about, Yukabeth being shady, Jay, the assistant. So she says, call her and do a mock.
But also, you know what I think? I don't think that's the first time Ivy has come to the office. That
Okay.
means she kind of knows what Jay does.
Okay.
Because for her to kind of suggest that maybe it's your assistant that is, I don't know, sabotaging you.
Makes sense. Shady people know shady people.
But her father said it. She said, I'm raising a politician.
So then they confront her.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, the IG live. Ivy's talking. She said some words, I think in
Yeah.
Chang, and then she said, I don't speak Hudrat.
Yeah,
That's one of my
Mhm.
favorite scenes. Nyokafi is amazing. So Nyokafi plays Ivy, Vera Tsango plays Jay, and the two of them are just brilliant. So the banter that happens, it's one of my favorite scenes, to be honest. And it was so funny. It felt so real. Like that was what I would be getting every time I log into Instagram. I would be there for that sort of drama, that mess.
there was, is it a montage? They were showing, like different plots of land being sold.
Mhm.
And it was so sad because that means all of those people were selling their land and moving away.
And you know where they end up? In the city.
Yeah. And I don't think it's ever better in the city.
No.
No.
Because then they end up in the slums. You can't really plant anything.
You can't return.
Yeah. And one of the most heartbreaking things about selling ancestral land, I think, so my ethnic background is very big on funerals. Like for us, funerals are a whole event. You know what I mean? And I think I found it really heartbreaking because I didn't grow up in Nairobi. And I grew up in a small town in Eldoret, which, of course, we have slums and that sort of thing, but they're not that, big or whatever. So many people are buried at home. You're buried at your ancestral home. And I think one of the most heartbreaking things I came to find out is there's so many people who they don't have home. You have no land anywhere else. So you die in the city, you're buried in the city cemetery. And the unfortunate thing about the city cemetery is it's overpopulated to the point that people are being buried on top of one another. It's just for me that really breaks my heart.
Yeah, that is true. If anything happens,
Mhm.
where do they return? Nowhere.
Nowhere. And even if they were to return, because remember, they're going to dig up the land. So, there's really nothing to return to.
It's a strange thing to grasp, because in my head I know there's a place I come from. I have my grandparents there. I have my family there. But what if it was sold? Then we don't have anywhere.
Yeah, you don't have anywhere to go.
Let me tell you, this Mister, his name was Kit.
Kitty.
Stop pronouncing it like a white person. He was on a truck, right? And Chalo is like, you're also going? And this man throws shade. He has time to throw shade. He said, what do you think you can teach me? Get a wife first.
Oh my god.
No.
But it was so funny to hear him say that. It's like, sir, maybe because I feel like
See that I told you there's a reason why those people don't really listen to Chalo because he doesn't have a wife. And to them, that means
he's not.
a man really? Like your opinion does not weigh much.
Yeah, his opinion.
Like first do the things that make a person
Yeah. Like, what do you know? What do you know?
But it's so sad because in this moment, I feel like Chalo was actually speaking sense.
when has he ever not
Okay,
spoken
yeah,
sense?
his father doesn't speak sense sometimes.
You know something that's so sad about even that thing of people moving, that montage of people having to leave and move, is that the place where we shot the show kind of had something similar going
Oh.
on. I mean, the mine location, I think, because there it's sand mining that
Okay.
happens. You see, like, I think even the where we shot the mine, it's like an abandoned sand mine or something. But something that was so sad, you see where they buried Mwalimu. So they had come and scouted the place about like maybe 3 or 4 days before. 3 or 4 days before shooting, came, saw the place, like, this is the perfect place for, Mwalimu's grave, did the recce and whatever. Can you imagine, on the day we went to shoot, half of that land had already been dug up, like, for the sun. And I mean, you've seen how beautiful that place is. Like, there was already sections that had started mining the sun, like, and not just a small chunk, a huge chunk, to the point that it was going to be a problem because the place that identified was already part of. Yeah, it was quite sad. Yeah, the lucky thing is the owner of the homestead, Mwalimu's home, we were on his side. So his side was not dug up. So that's what we worked with. But the other half, if the camera was to shoot the other direction, it had already been dug up.
Oh no. Not filming process being interrupted by
Yeah, because
real life mining.
In regards to people moving, I don't think we've really dug enough to know if people are actually abandoning their homes and moving. But yes, people are selling their land for sand mining or leasing it for sand mining.
this is so sad. I'm wondering, do they pay them the value? Because if a family is going to relocate to the city, they need the money to help them start. Because it seemed what Chalo's father was paying the people was not even enough for them.
He was promising to pay. He didn't really pay them.
Yeah.
We see Titus and Musa, they go to the city.
Yeah.
They just happened to show up at Akisa's office, which was so funny. But that part, I feel it was really done well, especially where
Yeah,
Musa,
where
where he was like, "These trays we used to, like I can imagine an uncle actually really saying that.
it's
Yeah,
East
exactly.
African village chic. Because like the adults they just don't get it.
The design, like
Yeah.
wanting to incorporate some of those things in style.
Yeah.
Also, their fashion, like the oversized
Oh
suits.
yeah, the wardrobe is actually very accurate. Yeah, the oversized suit, that necktie is like even the patterned coat.
I feel like every uncle or every man,
So
especially the older
the
generation,
older generation,
they do
yeah.
have a suit, and usually that's like their best suit.
And if it could be
Yeah.
worn
Good.
daily, they would
So the
wear it
wardrobe
daily.
was on
It
point.
was on point. That
And
whole scene was really on point.
and then they come in and they tell her, your mom, she's in trouble. You
Mm-hmm.
need to go check up on her, convince her that it's not safe for her there. And I'm thinking, so you had to come all this way. Like, if she's actually in danger, they could,
But she was not. Remember, they were fear mongering.
they're on their agenda. They want to
Yeah.
get her off the land.
The
And so,
mom was not picking up. She wanted to call Chalo. Then she realized she doesn't have Chalo's number.
okay.
So then she
What
went.
was Chelo supposed to do?
I guess check
Oh,
on the
not
mom for
again.
her.
Hannah has issues with that.
Imagine if actually she had called Chalo. I feel like he would still go and
Yeah, because
that's his nature.
yeah, but again, like Anna said, you're nice. People take advantage of that. Calm
Yeah.
down. But look, I have an issue. Do not trust Ivy.
Ivy being left to manage business right after Beth leaves. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because you know when Ivy was talking to in episode 4, when Ivy talked to her dad, see, she's conniving. She was able to get what she wanted and then sell her friendship with Akisa to her father.
My question is, what will happen when the father wants to get that favor back?
I don't know.
And Akisa is not aware that they made this deal.
That's why I don't trust Ivy. It looks like she's doing a favor to a friend.
Ivy is an interesting character.
But no, I'm a bit afraid. If Ivy was able to call Jay,
You Beth,
Yukabeth, a hood rat, what does she think of Akisa then?
what do you think?
Yeah, actually, when you were writing, did you want it to be obvious that they're from different classes?
Yes, you can't write a show like this and not pay attention to class, to social class. And I think if you even look at how Vera played Jay, you like she played it as a social climber, even just her accent. Like it's such a slight change in her accent.
Yeah.
It's very, you can tell she's a social
Yes.
climber. It's the words, people were trying to wang, but it's not coming because you're from the village. Just accept your roots, you
That makes
know.
so much sense.
So I think all the social class was obviously, it is a big deal for us in the writers' room. So I guess by extension, it would be a big deal in the writing.
That makes so much sense because later on, when she went to Mrs. Sibala's office,
Yeah.
and she came ready, she came with ammunition. She was ready to say, I can help you out. But except
Oh,
Vivian didn't give her a
that
chance.
was so painful. Like they didn't
Yeah.
even look at her.
Vivian didn't give
Ouch.
her a chance. But I feel like she was really going to play her cards so
She
well.
was. Oh my, they ignored the girl. Yo.
I didn't even
Yeah.
call her little girl.
Yes.
Like,
The accent. I did not know it was intentional.
and at the same time, we wrote it with that sort of person in mind.
Okay, it makes so
It
much
makes sense.
sense now. Because so then I was like, are they intentional? Are they trying to let us know something about Jay?
Mm,
Because that sounds like when you're trying to do an accent, but it's not quite agreeing yet
it's not coming
with your
out.
tongue.
Yeah. So like sometimes you slip up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vera did a very good job of doing it in such a way that she did actually have an accent. So it was good.
Acting is hard.
Yo. Okay, so our question is sometimes when you're writing, the topics are really heavy. I don't know, some of them are a bit triggering, to be honest. How do you cope with that?
Oof. Yeah. Actually, the worst part or the best part is when you feel triggered. That's when you know you've got it. It's
Oh,
it's it's.
wow.
I wrote the funeral, not the funeral. The wake. I wrote
Mm-hmm.
the wake scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Like I shared with you guys. So I'm Luo by ethnicity. And for Luo's funerals are huge. We have a lot of wailing, we have a lot of crying, we have a lot of, I don't like, it's usually so heavy. I even hate going to our own funerals because I just know if I go there I'm not going to leave without being sad. And to write that scene, I just found myself just back at a funeral, and it was so heartbreaking. I literally cried while I was writing, but then I was like, okay, that's how I know we got it. There are some moments that are quite triggering. For Akisa and the mom, I think actually interestingly enough, I don't know about the other writers, but for me, I think I'm just seeing what you guys are saying now that I've watched it. I think also there's a lot more that's not said that comes across on screen just because of how amazing Melissa plays Akisa and Mumbi plays Esther. I think there's also just they add onto it in an amazing way. Even I don't think I felt that much of the strain in their relationship. I mean, of course we knew it, but I think I felt it more watching it on screen than I did reading it in paper. But we have had a lot of discussions about their relationship and just how painful it is. I've never had a strained relationship with my mom, so I can't really identify with that. But seeing it on screen, the way the actors played it out just added another layer to it.
Wow, yeah. Oh, that was very insightful.
Yeah. So we move on to the Mandarin scene. Oh, that part was really, it was surprising. I never expected it. And the actress, she bodied it.
I
I don't even
know.
know how to
I did
explain
not
this.
expect that. That threw
Yeah.
me. Like I was like, wait, what?
No.
It sounds like Mandarin to me.
I have a friend who's she speaks so many languages, but immediately that scene played out, she called me like, "Yo, she speaks! Like,
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my gosh, she's so good." Nini did a fantastic job. I mean, Vivian. There's a reason why
Yeah.
people love Vivian. She nails it every time.
Yeah. She was having a conversation in Mandarin
That was
so
nice. Like,
effortlessly.
oh, it must have been hard. She had practiced a lot of hours.
Yeah.
They had because I think even Mandarin, there's the way women speak it and men speak it, and it's a bit different for the genders. Funny enough, someone recorded the scene, audio recorded it,
Mm-hmm.
and she had to listen over and over until
Mm.
she got it.
Wow.
Ah, dedication.
Yeah.
Yo, it's a job.
That
It's
is
a
so
job.
true.
It's
Yeah.
work.
That is one of my favorite scenes in this episode.
And then Kingsley was like, huh? What's going on?
Also, yeah, let's talk about the purpose of that part. She didn't want Kingsley to know the deals she was making,
Hmm.
which was such a smart move because then he was like, yeah, I'm just going to leave you.
So we cut to Chalo.
Oh,
He's
Chalo
yeah, he's at
cooking.
his place. He's cooking. If they see him
Yeah,
cooking,
do you know Chalo already gets a lot of slack for not being the man? Now imagine if they find him cooking in his house.
but it's like it's your house. But it's like no, you're not supposed to cook. Get a
Yeah.
woman. And then Anna comes around because remember we left off when she was pissed at him.
For not attending the picnic.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
She comes around and she's like, she's proud of him, even if she's still pissed at him because she sees the stories on the front pages of the newspapers. Very
Yeah,
supportive, actually.
she went ahead and recorded
Yes.
a video for him. So that was really sweet that she's still supportive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when he messed up, do you think she's too forgiving? Do you know what? In her head, Chalo is a good person.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for when insecurity comes from outside. Like you don't have the insecurity and then people kind of imprint it on you and you're like, yeah, I think there's definitely an aspect of she probably wouldn't have a problem even if okay, this is the ex, like it wouldn't be a problem. But just because everybody keeps bringing it up, my gosh! Like what are these guys? Did you see them inside the bushes? What like
It's just those annoying Auntie
it's
Zipporah, man.
Yeah, they put things in Anna's head.
Ooh, community organizing. We have Chalo and Grace, and they're trying to like organize the community at the father's pub.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually really nice. It's always refreshing to see like community organizing.
I mean, I wish we did it more often, to be honest, as Kenyans, Africans, we really need to stand up and
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like even the exploiting companies like EcoRock, they depend, no, not depend. They are betting on there not being community organization.
thrive.
Yeah.
It goes both ways because they also do a lot to silence voices. They hire goons to come and beat you up.
Mm.
They make sure there's police presence. They definitely thrive off that.
We have Max taking a trip to Silanga. I don't know. He's still trying to fit himself into Ikorok officially. So it's like he's running these
Because
errands.
I don't think Vivian knew he was there
She didn't really like send him explicitly.
to go to
Yeah,
EcoRock.
he was just taking himself there.
But it's also obvious Vivian is never going to give him an official position.
Do you know? I think he realizes. That's why we see him later making that deal with Akisa. Because at first I was like, Max, really? Why do you keep trying? Vivian doesn't care. I think that's why he makes a deal with Akisa later on. There, anyway, we see him meeting Eric, and he also meets Silas. Silas was so enthusiastic about meeting him. He even put out his hand. Hey, they did him.
What Vivian did to Yucabeth?
Yeah, Max just side eyed him.
That is so sad.
Like again, the actors just bring so much. It's always so satisfying when good writing is complemented with good acting.
Yes.
Yes.
Silas is played by Robert
I
Agengo,
hate
who is
Silas'
a
character.
fantastic actor.
Fantastic
I know.
actor.
Actually, he's one of my favorite because one of the interesting things he does is he elevates like every I think he always adds something to his lines, and it's always
Oh.
so refreshing to see. Even that time he switched to English, and he did the same thing Vera did with Jay.
Mm.
Even the English was, aka hard struggle
Yes.
English. He did it so
True.
well. It was
Whoever
fantastic.
played Silas,
Yeah,
he's
he
very
went
good.
into his character. I almost cannot believe he's acting. Like
I know.
the
Yeah.
mannerisms, it's the little things that he was doing. The part where he
Mm.
stands up straight and then composes himself, puts out his hand, and then he even uses, like, he gives himself titles. I don't know. He has titles, official titles.
Yeah.
I'm a field something. I'm like, damn, okay, Silas. He's trying to give a good impression. Meanwhile, Max is like, okay.
Whatever.
Blessing also played that back really well. Like that look was enough. Like the fuck. It really played out nicely.
In that whole scene, that's when the people start protesting, remember? And also Joe. But also Joe. How did he reach Silanga anyway?
A bus.
Okay, yeah, I know he did reach, but it was so random how he happened to be in Silanga on that exact day. Don't you think?
Huh. I wonder why.
Joe comes over, and then for some reason he witnesses the Silanga people coming to protest against Echo Rock, and they're asking for their land back. And then he starts to take pictures. And then that part was so funny because it was Max who threw the first punches, right?
Yeah.
But it's so funny because when he was making his report at the police post, he was saying that the Silanga people are the ones who started the fight. So, in a way, he's protecting his own interests, really.
He is. He's trying to get that doctor's appointment back. He's trying to get in Vivian's good books. So
Mm-hmm.
then he does what he has to do. He cooks.
The information.
Yeah.
And Charlo says, "You're going to believe him, a stranger, over me."
And Nema is like, yeah. While the community members march towards the mine,
Mm-hmm.
it's Tony who calls the police.
Yeah, that is so
Yeah.
true. Tony calls the
Oh, glad you
police. I have a problem with Tony.
No, I think Tony
really. What
is a young
problem?
man. He's trying to find
No,
himself.
because
He
Tony.
doesn't know what he stands for
Yeah.
just yet.
Okay.
He's not like his brother. His brother has been in the world for some time. He knows what he stands for.
Okay, I guess that makes
Because
sense.
you can see Tony, he calls, I don't know, he starts organizing the kids so that they are not in the direct line of the conflict.
Mm.
So he does have a little heart.
Can I just say this is why I really love your podcast, or like what I've listened to so far. You guys you've really tapped into the show, and I think thought about the characters. I guess maybe just very close to how we as the writers have been thinking. So kudos, you guys have
Oh.
really, yeah. So that's a very good analysis of Tony.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Very
okay.
spot
Oh,
on.
look at you,
Very
Biira.
I'm blushing.
Thank you.
Max and Charlo meet.
And they don't know that they have a kissa in common, like the common
yeah.
denominator. So they have a confrontation in the prison, but
Not in the
also
prison, they have a confrontation. Their
outside.
confrontation is actually what starts the whole
That's why I
punches.
was asking, did they know each other? Because if they knew each other, maybe then that fight would kind of make sense.
It's because of what Max said to who hits. It's
It's
Max
Max
who
who hit
hits.
first.
Yeah,
It's
Max
Max
hits
who throws
Charlo
the
first.
first punch.
Max was being obnoxious,
Mhm.
with like his whole city.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was because he's a man or his whole city nonsense. Like when they say people from the city are
Yeah.
annoying, he was like, "Oh, give me my phone," and she was like, "Or what?" That was really nice. Her delivery was really good.
She really
Yeah.
did.
Shout out to Nungo Marianne. She's an amazing actress.
I think she embodied the authoritative air. You can feel it in the way she walks.
But also there's this thing that they have. It's
Yeah.
almost like an indifference. Like they don't really care who you are.
Yeah, they have like an arrogance.
Yeah, like you could feel
Yes.
it in her. Cause
I think they need it. Like how else will people be submissive? It's just a way to dominate you. And otherwise, how would they do their jobs? Hey, African police, me, I don't know anybody's not scared of police because me, I see police, if I can turn around and go back, I will. Yo.
it's so scary.
I'm scared of police, man.
Yeah, which is so funny because their role is supposed to be to protect you, but when you see them, it's like your anxiety shoots up.
Yo.
You know what? Actress did a good job in like portraying the nuances. She has an
Yeah.
authoritative air. Remember at the beginning episodes, episode 1, 2, when she's at Akisa's home?
Mm-hmm.
and Mwalimu is dead. When
Yeah.
she enters the house, her demeanor, like you can
She
see
was
the
being
changes.
very respectful, like
Yeah.
of an
Yeah.
elder, community elder. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean it's also the duality cops have to live with, because also remember who's picking up bodies in the street and going to actually tell families,
Yeah.
you know someone died, who's receiving people who've gone through rape
Mm.
and
Mm.
assaults and robberies, and who's actually having to play, I guess, psychology. It's not like they do a great job or even a good job, but like they do have to have a capacity for empathy. I see that duality with cops so many times, and I feel like they're never really appreciated for it. You're right, Nungo played it perfectly. I loved the way she went and like unclasped his gold chain, like, big man.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and then she's playing with it, and that's like,
What
okay.
happened
I thought she was going to pocket it.
is
But then later on, we saw
Yeah.
Max with a chain.
Mhm.
Like when he was released, he had the chain. In my mind, I was thinking, damn, this police is good. Because if it's a gold chain, a legit gold chain, chances are you won't see it again.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he be wearing
Mm-hmm.
not a legit gold chain? Because Vivian does not give him money.
So he buys counterfeits.
Yeah, at this point, I'm seeing Max is struggling.
Right. So where the part where Akisa reaches home,
Yeah,
she sees blood on the door.
I was so scared, man.
Yeah, I really thought somebody had died, and then the door was open also.
Mhm.
Did you see how she threw the panga?
To the ground, she's like, I can protect myself.
And the way she threw it, I became scared. I was like,
Okay,
yo.
Esther.
They went inside and they saw the head of the god. It's probably the brothers who even did this.
Yeah,
But these uncles,
that's some of the most accurate
depiction of
of
uncles.
uncle could
They are
really be like
perfect.
that.
Like, again, shout out to the
Yo.
actors. Titus is played by Eddie Kimani and Musa is played by Joel
Mhm.
Otuko. These are OG Kenyan
Mm.
actors. They have been in the
Wow.
industry since back then, killing it till now. Like,
They did
they
a
are
good job.
fantastic.
Yeah.
In almost all the
Mm.
episodes, we keep on mentioning how annoying they are.
Like,
They really play the role so well.
Yeah.
set design for Akisa's home. Yeah, you know the doilies on the chair?
Yeah,
It feels so familiar.
it feels real.
Ah, the kids. So, because now the kids don't have work
Yeah, because of the protest.
that happened at the
Mhm.
mine, they're now, they're free and they end up near Professor's house
Yeah,
or
it's like Professor has taken them on.
pretty much because they hang out there,
Yeah.
it
At
seems a
his
lot.
place, they listen to his stories, he feeds them.
And this is the part where they talk about Marxism.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so we're like, oh, Netflix let this pass? And there's comrades in the writing room.
But I'm wondering, did the kids get it?
I don't know if the kids got it, but my interpretation was he
Mm-hmm.
was explaining to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like theory. And then the kids were like,
They understood it because they were living it.
yes, but then I think the part
Yeah.
which was well communicated to me,
Mm-hmm.
I liked that when he explained that, then the kids were like, our material condition is not changing. You're telling us all this theory.
Mm-hmm.
We're hungry.
Mm,
When he offered the rabbit, like, guys, I caught a rabbit.
mm-hmm.
Let's all chip in and share it and eat
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I saw, oh, this is like a practical version of what he just told them.
Explain. Okay.
That's how I understood it.
Yeah. And again, Oliver Litondo, the actor, brilliant actor. I don't know if you guys have ever watched The First Grader.
No, we have
No.
not.
A
And
really beautiful film, and he, again, one of the OG Kenyan actors.
like I'm actually
Actually, I'm
interested to
curious, what
know.
do you think of him? Like, just facts about his life. I'm just curious because I feel like there's some things that we try to seep in, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think they come
Then
across.
we talk about him in episode 2.
And we got the impression that he must have been, because his name is Professor, so he must have been like in a teaching capacity of some sort. And
Hmm.
it's like in the community, he's now regarded as almost like a crazy person.
I think he struggles with mental illness.
Yes. But the thing is, when he is speaking, he makes a lot of valid points.
There's maybe little understanding of it where he's from, a lot of places where we come from. There's little understanding of it. So people just dismiss everything he says.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty spot on. Like that's pretty spot on. But I think who do you think he's related to in Country Queen?
He's related to
To someone?
somebody. Do you think he's related to, I don't know, Esther seems very comfortable around Professor.
Yeah.
In fact, it's so odd. We never hear what Esther really thinks or what her feelings are.
But
But when
the
she
one
came,
time we did, she was speaking to Professor.
when she brought him pilau,
Yeah.
then she was telling him, I'm feeling uncertain about, what to do with the body of my husband who's gone. And I was like, oh, she's talking like she comes here often to talk to him. So I did not know he was related
I
to
love this.
anyone.
No, I love the way you guys are dissecting this character. I love it. Love it. Love
Now I
it.
wonder,
Yeah.
I'm now
who is
curious.
he
Who is he
related
related
to?
to? I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
So
Yeah,
that
that's
makes
backstory.
sense.
That's backstory.
Then we see Akisa going to the police post to report the godhead
Yeah, she's, I think, concerned about the safety of her
of her
mother.
mother. But I also feel like she knows it's the uncles. Like it's obvious it's the uncles. What do you do in a situation like that? Even Nema said, I can't really do anything about it now because there's no evidence that they did that. But also, who sends a godhead?
Why just sending ahead? Because it gives like witchcraft vibes.
Yeah, it does.
This is where you see that policing a community that you belong to is a bit hard. Because she knows everyone.
She probably knows who did it.
They're like acquaintances.
Yeah.
Some are friends. What is she going to do about that? She doesn't want to offend.
And she's like a younger woman. I feel like it would be much easier if it's an older person. There's a way they give you some sort of respect when you're older.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if Charlo was the police.
Officer?
Yeah. They'll say, what do you know? You're not married.
No, they can. There's something the badge does.
Right. So Akisa finds Max and Charlo. She finds them in jail. I think Akisa notices Max's voice. And then Charlo is like, you know this man? Everybody's like, how do you know each other? That part
That's
was
actually a bit weird. It must have been confusing for her.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Break time.
What was your favorite scene?
The live scene with Ivy calling out Yukabeth. That was hilarious.
Favorite scene and sound for me was the same thing, and it is the scene where the community bails Charlo out of prison. You can see they are so happy, they are celebrating together. That was really beautiful to watch.
What was your favorite sound?
Zippy's entire line. I can't really do it, so I'll insert it here.
What was your favorite line?
The entire Mandarin monologue by Vivienne. Vivienne is a badass. The actress is a badass.
Where Professor is explaining capitalism to the children and using practical examples to make them understand the system. But I'm torn between that and also the part where Akisa's mom says, find a man, settle down, have kids. And Akisa says, I don't think I'd be a good mom. That line was it hit. At this point in the conversation, lightning hit and we had a power outage. So we're continuing this part of the conversation without Oprah, and it will just be us finishing the episode.
We left off Akisa going to the police post to report the issues of her mother. Now, this is when Akisa sees that Charlo and Max are sitting in a cell together. And she's confused. And I understand. That is so weird. Like your city boyfriend, your village boyfriend, and then you find them in one place.
But I don't think at that point they knew that Akisa knew both of them.
No, they did not. They all want to seem like nonchalant. But then it gets to Charlo and he's like, how do you know her? The way Max responds to Charlo,
He has the city boy cockiness.
you can tell Max wants Charlo to know.
That I know this girl.
So then, Akisa decides to post bail. No, actually, Max is released first because Eric from the mine, the overseer, he comes to bail him out. So Charlo is left inside by himself. And Akisa decides to bail him. This man says no because I think now he's learned of the connection between
Max and her. And I think in his mind he was thinking, she probably works with these people.
Yeah, like that's Ikorok money that she's using to bail me out.
I mean, he's not wrong because Ikarok was Akisa's client at some point, right?
I love the next part because then it's a community which comes and bails him out.
Yeah, that part was really beautiful.
I loved it. We cut to Zippy.
Why do you keep saying Zippy? Zipporah had an accident.
Because that's what Anna calls her.
But are you Anna?
Okay. Akisa is really... I like that she went and called Zippy out on her bullshit. And then she cuts her leg with the pan and I'm like...
Like, Akisa could have left her.
Well deserved.
Akisa could have left her, but she decided to take her to the hospital. And even then, you could see that Zippy is not buying it. Like,
Yeah.
she's stuck in her ways.
I think Akisa wanted to use this opportunity for them to, like mend.
Because she's an auntie, right? She becomes an auntie.
Yeah, in that case, yeah.
The most natural thing you would expect from Zippy after a situation like this is for her to be understanding.
Everything Akisa says in the car passes over Zippy's head just from her eyes.
Yeah, the
she's
way
very
she looked-
shady.
The way she looked at her while she was getting out of the car, that was so weird. Did she even get anything at all? So Zipporah goes into the hospital and she's attended to by Anna.
Yeah, and Zipporah continues her bullshit.
Yeah.
Because then she starts feeding Anna doubts.
Again, yeah. You know, there's always this debate that it's the women who trap the men with children. But then there's also the opposite of that, where women think it's the men who trap the women with children.
You know, I don't think they say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do they say it like the man is trapping her with a child? No, they say they've humbled her. The idea or the motive behind it. For example, I think Anna has like a good image in the community. She's the health officer. She has some authority level in the health center she works at. Because people report to her. You can see it. Like, people respect her. She has a good image. So for her to have a child with Charlo will be more like a natural progression of things.
Like it's expected of the two of them.
Yeah.
Their relationship is public. I mean, everybody knows Anna is Charlo's girl.
If it's Akisa, though, people think Akisa is a worldly girl.
But that's because they do not know what took her away from home.
The rumors are there, and those who know of the pregnancy rumors, if she got pregnant, it will be more like, yeah, it's probably time for her to slow down.
Who to slow down?
Akisa. You know how people sometimes weaponize pregnancy? Like, it's
yeah.
teaching them a lesson.
Like, tisia kida kida.
Yeah. What's that in English?
I don't know.
Try moving mad with a child now.
Yeah, actually, yes. Right.
Yeah,
That's
because
true.
they're like, she moves mad as a girl. Nobody be saying that to boys, really.
Boys are expected to move mad anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes when Grace speaks about Charlo with Anna, there's something that Silas said. He made it seem like Anna is doing you a favor by being with you. He said that to the brother, Tony. And then Grace also says it. Of course, Grace is like a friend and she makes like these little jabs at him. Or, you know, she throws shade. It gives the impression that people are like, damn, Charlo is so lucky that Anna is with him. Like, she could be with anybody else.
I guess then it makes sense why Charlo's father, remember during the fight that they had, he said, you might as well wear a dress because it seems you are the woman in this relationship. It's a common theme because they keep going for his beard, and then when he gave his father money, he said that's pocket money from your girlfriend.
And he's like with one of the coolest girls in the community.
So basically they think he doesn't deserve her.
They probably wonder why the hell she's with him.
But why is she with him?
I'm Team Charlo. You're going to have to fight me.
I'm not asking out of hate of Charlo. I'm just asking, like, what is their story? How did they get to be together?
Because
like, I'm genuinely curious about their story.
He's empathic. He has a good heart. He likes to help people. He's concerned about the community. What else? That just makes him hot. You want me to carry on?
Yeah, okay. I can see your
Hot
point.
points.
I
He
can
has a
see-
good beard. Did you see the part where he had his shirt off when Akisa went, I'm sorry, the man fine.
He's fine.
He's like activist bae. You know what? I was going to say he's not vain like Max. But Max,
Is Max vain?
I think, yeah, that's not correct. Max is not. Max is cocky.
Max flexes. He knows he's attached to one of the wealthiest women. And that means he's attached
you know-
to money.
He can be nice too. Man, it's a bit of a challenge. I don't know. Something about Charlo does it for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Max is handsome, yes. He has the looks, he has swagger, but shallow.
Anyway, so we're shown Max, Eric, and Titus and Musa surveying the land where Akisa's homestead is situated.
Yeah, Mwalimu's home.
Yeah. I'm wondering, at that part, there's a way Max asks a question.
Like, who owns this land? Because we're going to need it for the project to commence. And they say that, he died last week.
And there's a way he looks, and I'm thinking, is that when he connects the dots and realizes this could be Akisa's home?
Yeah, for me, I was thinking, is he maybe thinking, these guys are kind of ruthless because he knows that those are the brothers and they're selling his land, like, before his body is even cold. But, thinking about it, it's probably what you say. I don't think Max has that level. Or circumstances have made him unable to tap into that empathic side of him. I think he's always thinking, how best can I benefit from this?
Because then he told them to continue and that Eric will sort them out. And then he decides to go to the home, which makes me believe that he kind of knew where he was going.
Okay.
Because even when he enters the house, there's a way he looks at, when you...
Like,
this is where she comes from. That's the impression he gave.
Yeah.
Because he was looking at the photos and you could see him smiling.
And he was being extra polite.
Very polite.
One thing I will say, he knows how to change face.
Like, he can be a thug in one moment and then the next moment he's like the sweetest guy.
Yes. And I think this is what makes him and Akisa so similar. Where I feel like they've had to change who they are depending on the spaces they're in. Because when he's at Mama Akinyi's, he's a very different person. When he's with Akisa, he's a different person. When he was with Chalo in the cell, like, super cocky.
Remember also the part where he's asked for water?
Yes.
And then they said it's rainwater. And then he
shit.
said, it's okay, I can drink that. He's probably saying he's okay with drinking rainwater because... if it was a classed posh, they would be like, rainwater, what?
And then when he came into this household, the way he was moving and his demeanor.
And you can only be good at that if you've been put in situations where you'll have to, like, adapt, just like you've said.
For sure. They've had to fight for where they are. Which is what makes him different from Chalo. Chalo is very unafraid to be himself. It's like nothing holds him back. You notice? Unlike Akisa and Max, who have, circumstances have made them need to change according to environment. Chalo does not. He's the same with Anna. He's the same with his father. He's the same with Akisa. He's the same with Max. He's the same. There's no pretense with him. You know what you're getting.
With him, that is so true. That is actually really true.
Yeah.
Like, we've not seen him. Interesting.
You know, like the dualism that Akisa has in the city and then in
same as Max.
in the village.
Do you think it's because of the hand that they are dealt then?
Perhaps.
Because remember we were discussing that Chalo got to move on from, like, he doesn't know there's a child involved. Like, he didn't know any of that. So he had the opportunity to live his life fully without any of these obstacles. Meanwhile, Akisa has to, like, grapple with having a child, having the child taken away, the possibility that the child is dead or alive, and, like, all of these other things, plus life in the city, like having to navigate life in the city as a woman.
Maybe circumstances have made Chalo the way he is. Look at the way he expresses his frustration or anger. Max is very calculated. He unleashes his anger at certain times. Like, there's method to it. Chalo, it's more like in the moment, very impulsive. So I don't think he's been in situations where he has to, like, hold himself back. So we are at...
And then Akisa comes home.
We're talking about how the water that they serve him is in a metallic cup. Metallic cup water is yum yum.
From the pot.
Yes, the clay pot. Ooh, yes.
There's a way
After a good hot day.
Yeah.
And then you go back inside the house. What's that in it? Cement. It's
Yeah.
cementy.
Yeah, the cement floor.
Yeah, the floor is like
You know
it's
the one which is
cementy.
old and super shiny?
Yeah, ooh. And then you lie on it after a hot day, then you drink a cold cup of water in a metallic cup.
Yeah.
From the pot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink rainwater like Max.
Anyway, Akisa, she comes at the house and she finds Max there having a chat with the mom. And you think she's shocked?
Funny, she doesn't look that surprised.
Yeah, she doesn't. She's just like, what? Let me talk to you outside. But you know what? I feel like she was distracted by the fact that there are these guys who are out to get her mom. Because even when she reached the police station, it's like you could see she's just like, what the hell? What are they doing here?
Yeah.
And she's also probably thinking, I can't keep doing this. I have a life and a business to run in the city.
Exactly. So then Max goes back to Nairobi.
But before he goes, they have a chat.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, the one on the porch.
Yeah. Basically, Akisa says, I want my mom to have a comfortable life. So I'll do whatever is possible, whatever is in my means to make sure she gets that. And she was saying that she wants to sell the land.
Yeah.
So she suggests selling the land. And then Max says, sell it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can then sell it at a higher price to Vivian. I don't know.
Yeah, he's trying to pull an Eric as well. Ever since they told him, look, that's the land of some guy who died last week. He's our brother. In his head, gears have been running. How can I benefit from this situation?
And remember,
survival mode.
He doesn't have money. Ekorok
No.
doesn't have money.
No. And remember, he's trying to prove himself to Vivian yet again.
But he also, because he promised that he will get the land for her. Like, he'll do whatever it takes. But that's the thing. I mean, they're in a good relationship. You can see that Akisa, she keeps saying, you're the only one good thing.
Akisa or Vivian?
No, Akisa too. Because remember when she was in Sri Lanka, and then she's like, it's good somebody remembers me on the phone.
Yeah.
And like, so it's obvious that Max means a lot to her. But I don't know about this deal, because a part of me feels like it's gonna be messy later on. Max is trying to impress Vivian, but also he's getting this land, and Akisa trusts him.
Does Akisa know where this land is going to?
That's the thing. I don't think she even knows.
Shoot, does she know that it's going to the mine? That's going to become an issue of conflict for them in the future. I can see it. I don't know if
It's going to be very messy, especially among the three of them, Max, Viv, and Akisa.
And knowing that the father is buried on the land. So yeah, Max is back in Nairobi, right? And he's reporting to Vivian. And he was like, I wanted to buy roses for you, but my card was declined.
Isn't he exhausted though?
I don't know. That's why I feel like he does a lot. And he's trying to be like, look, Vivian, I can't keep doing this without
having an official position.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing in it for him. He doesn't own part of Eco-Rock. If they can just cut him off.
And they can easily do so.
Without even notice.
Remember the part where she said, get out of my house?
Shoot.
Aline nyumba.
No.
Does he even have a house?
Oh, dear Lord, Max. Every time I see him at Akisa's or penthouse of Vivian, I see now what is motivating him. He literally has nothing. That land thing of Akisa, that's going to become an issue.
That's the thing. Because then he has, what is this thing called? Conflict of interest?
Yeah, for sure.
He will use that to get whatever he wants from Vivian. And I don't know, maybe in the process, Akisa might be affected.
And then he'll be torn, like, who should I... But then, see, that's where it will become... I'm predicting. That's where you'll see the biggest difference between Chalo and Max. Max, because he is used to being in a survival mode, he will throw Akisa under the bus because he has nothing to his name. Like, nothing. In order to be in Vivian's good books. In order to get the money. He will throw Akisa under the bus. If Akisa learns and she wants to pull out later on. Chalo, on the other hand, it would be an easy decision for Chalo to make. He always thinks community. It's pretty clear for him what he needs to do. But Max will throw the people he cares about under the bus because the goal for him is to survive. Damn. Chalo's goal is we all need to survive.
Yeah, community oriented.
That's why the man is hot. I've been telling you.
Okay, ma'am. I'm not going to disagree. So, remember the scene where Akisa and her mom at night?
Listen, Esther pisses me off.
And then she's like, when you find a good man, settle down, get married and have kids. Why do parents do this? Why?
10 years you've not seen me.
Like, how did she skip the whole conversation of whatever happened? I like the answer that Akisa gave her because she said, I don't think I would know how to be a good mom.
Esther deserved that. She did not even ask, how is your life in Nairobi?
Like, how are you actually living? How are you thriving? Tell me about it. How did you manage
Uh-huh.
all those years? Like, that's what I would actually like to know. Anyway, we move on. So, we're the part where Anna makes decisions.
Oh, dear Lord.
But you know what? It works. It really does. That means whatever Zipporah is going to tell her, she's going to believe, because that one piece of advice she gave her actually worked.
Which is so bad. Like, you know how I said Chalo he won't throw you under the bus. Let's say Akisa is the one having the kid with Max. I think he would choose himself over Akisa and the decision she makes.
Max.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'm starting to think for Max, but this is what I think would happen.
It's going to bite her in the ass
It
later on.
will. I just don't see an instance where it does not. Either she gets to work real quick, makes that pregnancy happen, or she tells him, look, something happened and the baby's not there. That's wicked still.
Choose the lesser evil.
He'll be grieving for something that never was.
Don't we all?
Grieve for what? What the hell? Where's your mind? Something that never was? Me and Chalo. Yeah.
Lord, save me from this girl.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Chalo was gonna propose anyway.
Yeah.
So why the hell did Anna
Was
have to?
he though? Would he have if she
you
did
know
not
what?
tell him that
You know
piece of
me.
information?
Yeah, I think he was hesitating because of Akisa.
Which makes me believe that whatever Anna did, like the decision to say, look, I'm pregnant, kind of pushed Chalo because he realized, oh shoot, I have this girl. It was more of
A spur of the moment.
Because it's like, I need to show her that I'm committed.
Okay.
Let me propose to her.
Okay. I don't think his heart is with Anna. His heart is somewhere. It's just not with Anna. Ever since Akisa came into town, his heart has not been with Anna.
Yeah, it's
Oh, damn, they were so cute though.
Yeah, they're cute.
Oh, damn, Anna, why? Anna! How the hell will Anna explain what
How will
she
she
did?
get out of this? That's the thing.
And I feel like Chalo is that you break my heart once, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Anna's whatever it is, I'm gonna have a child so I can keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what will happen when she learns Akisa has a child with Chalo? What can she do to one up that?
Yeah, this is so messy.
Because now this is how people use, like,
it's
you know.
like, of all things, why a child also you? Why also you have a child also you? What am I saying?
She really played into the stereotype of trap a man with a child.
And it worked.
Ah, shit. But is it gonna work because Akisa has a child too?
Then she'll have twins.
Hey, that's a thing in Uganda. Like, Zenina Balongo. Some women one up each other like that.
No, or they'll say, you have daughters, me, I have a son. Kasta have given him a son.
Yeah, bullshit nonsense. Oh, shit. Akisa has a son. What is Anna going to do?
This is so messy. This is the end of this episode. And please leave your comments. Let us know what you think. What pissed you off?
Yeah.
Next episode, which will be the 6th and the last episode in this series, we have 2 special guests and we will all just geek out and discuss the show.
We're going to have some insider information.
So if you want to know if our theories are right, tune in.
Thank you again, Oprah, for joining us. We enjoyed having you on today's episode.
And that is all.
You've been listening to the Two African Girls Review podcast, where we review black and brown films, TV, and more.
Don't forget to rate and share this podcast. Leave a comment on this episode and let us know what you'd like us to review next. Send us an email at twoafricangirlsreview@gmail.com. Until next time.